Hello, welcome back to the OCBC Arena. This is centre court of this wonderful venue, part of the Singapore Sports Hub, as Singapore take on Sri Lanka in a vital third rubber. If you look at the rankings, of course, Sri Lanka 87th in the world, Singapore 100th. On paper, should be Sri Lanka's, but it is 1-1 so far in this tie after Singapore won the first singles match, Shaheed defeating THANGARAJAH. And then Steve Ng was pretty much hammered by Harshana GODAMANNA, which means this leaves us in a great position here for this pivotal tie coming up, this pivotal match rather coming up in the doubles. Darren Ho with me, of course, in the commentary position. And Darren, this one is going to be a tough one to call.
This is interesting for so many reasons. I think this is the first time Singapore has been in this position where they're tied at 1-1. It's a little bit of pressure. The previous two doubles they played, there was very little pressure. But they'll take heart from the fact that they've produced their best performances during the doubles matches at this Davis Cup. And I was just sharing, that GODAMANNA is a very, very accomplished singles player. But this is doubles, and so the Singapore players will look to nullify the advantage, and it will not be as apparent for his partner, who is not as mobile on court during doubles as well. So this will be interesting to watch. I think the Singaporeans will bring. I think everyone's going to bring their A game to this actually, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we were wondering about how, in particular, Dineshkanthan would perform after he was his serve in particular let him down. But it is Harshana at the moment serving, and he does have an impressive serve.
But let's just remember yesterday when the Sri Lankans played the Kuwaitis, they were down 5-1 in the first set. I think the Kuwaitis were a little bit shell-shocked when they lost 6 games in a row. And in that second set, they kind of threw it all away. So there is a chance in this. I mean, as a doubles pair, GODAMANNA and THANGARAJAH are not really the best combination, as you can tell. Harshana really likes to stay at the back and hit through. That's always been his strength, his ground stroke. So it's interesting.
Nice return. This is what we saw from Shaheed yesterday as well, bisecting the two players.
That's a good return. I mean, he went in and he bolted it, and that's a smart shot. He went right down the middle, and he knows that Dinesh is not the most accomplished of volleyers. He went straight down the middle. I must say though, Harshana serves a very different serve in doubles. It's not as authoritative, and he's looking to open up the court for his partner.
Wonderful. Wonderfully done.
New territory. First break point he's faced the whole day.
That's a good point. Absolutely right. What a start here for Singapore. They get it. Brilliant start. And can they continue this now?
And Shazad, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, even from the first point, Dinesh had opportunities to put the volley away, and he's really not. He doesn't look all that comfortable at the net. I mean, he tried it during the singles and it didn't work out very well. And it seems like even during the doubles, he's struggling a little bit. Doesn't have the softest of hands. I realize his volleys are very firm, and it's quite one-dimensional how he volleys. But well, it's a good start by Singapore.
So of the two, Steve Ng has the man with the serve. Let's see how he does here.
Just a reminder, he held his serve really comfortable yesterday throughout the entire doubles match. It's good play.
Soft hands, well done. Volley.
So I don't know how the Singaporeans are going to look to repeat their performance. Like yesterday against the Vietnamese, they played a very similar formation where Lee was always up and his partner was always back, and the Singaporeans exploited that really well. Let's see whether they can do that today. It's a really good return. That return set up everything for Sri Lanka. Look at that return. Really nice, really compact. And that's what double is all about. You don't need to put that first volley away. You set up for your partner. Well done. It's good play.
Doing what he needs to do at the net, Shaheed.
You know, Shazad, I can't help but notice that the Sri Lankan team is not the most mobile team in the world. They look a little bit slow, even in reading the ball. I'm not sure whether because the court bounce is a little bit different, but I mean, look at this. Dinesh should have gone across way earlier than that, and he kind of misread it.
Looking good here, the Singaporean pair, and a chance to make it 2. Which they do, and it's looking good at the moment for Singapore. And even more important, it's now Dinesh THANGARAJAH's serve as well, which has proved to be his undoing.
He served really terrible today. 49%, if I'm not wrong, based on his singles. And you know, all of these little things play in your mind. I mean, I'm quite sure they don't think about it, but if he's not feeling it, that serve today, this might carry over into doubles.
Good start though. Well, we did say it, double fault. By the way, they have only hit 43% first subs in. It's early days, of course, or 38%, excuse me. This could be a factor. He slowed that serve down considerably, didn't he?
Yes, he did. I think he wanted to get a percentage, and I mean in doubles, that serve percentage is really important. You don't want to give your opponents that opportunity to think that they can attack that second serve.
And that was the return. Great return from Steve.
That was a good return by Steve. Really good return. Really good return. That's how you should be returning in doubles. That's an amazing return. Dinesh got away with that one. And I tell you, Shazad, he's not serving well today. I mean, that second serve had almost nothing on it. You know, if I were his captain, I would be telling him, slow down the serve and get that first serve in. Stop trying to go for the big booming ones.
Well, he's not listening to you, at the moment, that's for sure.
Evidently not.
He really went for that. And then he puts pressure on his second serve immediately. And then you get that kind of return from Shaheed.
And if you look at the replay, I mean, if you look at where Steve is standing on the second serve, he knows that that serve is a liability. Look at that. He takes one step in, he presses it down to his foot, and we know that Dinesh is not the most mobile on court.
And here we are at break point again. So Singapore looking very good at the moment. Race to a 3-love lead already.
And I think it's fairly clear, the strategy. I think Singapore knows who they need to attack. I mean, it's quite apparent. It's not even a hidden trade secret anymore. And I think that Dinesh really needs to step up on his game. I mean, he needs to serve a lot better than this. I hate to be repeating myself, but this is doubles. The serve is really important.
And people who will be listening to us throughout the day may be wondering why we keep going on about this. And the simple fact is, if you're looking at the stats, if you can even get on the Davis Cup site, look at the stats for yourself. We've got it in front of us. We've been looking at that all day. You cannot be serving at 42%.
No, you can't. I mean, at this level, serving at 42% it's really just asking to be pummeled every time you get a serve in. And once the opponent knows they've got a mental edge over you, it kind of plays into their court, and then you know when they are serving, you need to put pressure on yourself to break their serve because you can't hold your serve. That's exactly what's happening now. And at love 3 down in doubles, this is a big ask of the Sri Lankan team.
Chance here for the Sri Lankans maybe to pull something back. When he does that, when he's on form, Shahid Alam is unstoppable with those down the line passing shots, that kind of thing. He's so good at those.
Mirror image. I mean, he was doing that the whole day yesterday. And look at this, treading the line on that double and the backhand. This is really good technique right there. Look at that. Look at how low he keeps his body. He meant to do that. He wanted that.
Emphatic from Harshana.
He did well to not hit the net, to not touch the net. Well done, Harshana. Good return. And he made sure that that second one's not coming back anymore. Look at that.
To be fair, I think Steve did well to even get something on it and keep it in. Nice serve. And a chance here to make it 4 shortly, if they can see this out.
You think I'm being unfair if I said that Dinesh is struggling a little bit out there? Looks a little bit sluggish. I mean, he's trying to bounce and trying to get it back, but he looks a little bit sluggish out there.
Almost, he was going for it, wasn't he? Maybe a little pressure now on this serve from Shaheed. That's a great return. I think he needed that as well.
I think Dinesh was trying to prove a point to me.
Now, first break point that Sri Lanka have got.
That's a great return.
Well, that was long.
That's a bit of a strange one, I find. That's a weird shot selection right there. I mean, you could try that in singles, but in doubles, why would you not play the shot and play the point? I mean, that was just wild.
Don't try to kill it so quick.
You don't need to kill it so quickly.
Brilliant serve.
And that's what I mean. And then you put pressure on your partner. And Shaheed serves well. And now it's game point to Singapore. I mean, it's a little bit strange, the tactics that the Sri Lankans are deploying here. It's a little bit weird. I don't get it.
They're fighting in this game here, the Sri Lankans. Trying to give themselves every chance of breaking the Singaporean pair.
Shaheed serving really well to give Singapore the advantage. And in contrast, Singapore serving 82% first serve. The Sri Lankans are serving 42%.
That's almost double at the moment.
It just shows you how important the first serve is in doubles.
And they've been broken. So they've done well here, the Sri Lankans, and it's back. Excuse me, juice. Got a little ahead of myself. Lovely, lovely return there. Took the pace right off.
Good hands by Dinesh. And Shaheed served well when he's needed to. I mean, he's taking the pressure off because he's delivered that first serve when he needs to, and that serve to Harshana's backhand. That's a hard one to pick out on a single under backhand to go back cross court. That's difficult. And just a little fun fact, Shaheed seems to have burst a string every time he's played in this Davis Cup. You ever wonder how many rackets they carry?
4?
Some of them carry 6.
Wow. For this particular reason, of course. Showing a bit more fight here, the Sri Lankans, in this match now, in this fourth game. Well, that was nicely done. By the way, it's filling up in here at centre court as well, so there's a good crowd in. Plenty of noise when these points are won.
And Steve read that all the way. You can tell the moment Dinesh hit that return, he was already crossing and poaching. Shana's played some really good points on his return when he's needed to. Good deep return, good soft hands on the volley. Puts a lot of pressure on Singapore. Well done.
No one is able to close out this game. But another break point here. Oh, that was important. Important for Sri Lanka. It was a good rally.
Look at this shot by Harshana on the forehand. If you have a look at a replay, look at how fast he changes direction on the racket. Completely taking Steve out of the equation. And from then on, it was Sri Lanka all the way. Well done. Good play.
I think someone wants to make a point here. They can break right back. That is a big statement. Oh, that was there for the taking. Not grabbed by Harshana.
Very lucky. That drop shot by Shaheed was not well executed at all.
Far too heavy. They got away with that. So pressure on Harshana now. And that has helped them. That probably was going out. That little bit of luck at the moment.
You don't see that happen often in tennis at this level.
He was unsighted, wasn't he?
Couldn't get out of the way in time.
Dinesh might have just blocked him. His view of that.
I formation, probably going for the white slider.
3 break points.
And I'm wrong, of course.
They've saved one.
You know, it's interesting when you look at it. Harshana has got a really good, big, consistent serve. And it works really well in singles. But in doubles, he's now faced break points on both his service games. It just shows you how tactical doubles is as a match. It's not just about putting 2 good singles players together.
Oh, I think there was a bit of hesitation there. They've got the break right back.
No, sorry. If you can just look at the replay and look at where Dinesh is standing after the next volley. Look at the gap between them. Look at where he's going. He's actually retreating. He should have moved in, closed off the angle, and that caused confusion between the Sri Lankan pair.
Well, if you're going to get broken in the manner that they did, because they worked so hard for it, the Singaporeans, and then you break right back, it really gives you a boost. They're 4-1 up, and it's now on arguably the most consistent server we've had on centre court. I think it's safe to say probably, Darren, over the last few days.
Absolutely. I mean, Steve has got a very consistent serve. His first and second serve percentages are really high. And I think he's got to do the technique. He's got this really smooth technique to it. And it just flows. I mean, it just works for him. And I think his serve has improved over the years as well. Something that he's taken time to work on. And if the Sri Lankans don't don't change the way they're returning. You're going to find it really hard to break his serve. But let's not forget, yesterday Sri Lanka was 5-1 down against the Kuwaitis, and they did pull back an incredible 6-game run.
Yeah,
so we never know what we're going to get.
Steve Young himself is at the wrong end of a comeback just like that on day one against Mohammad Garib. Nice serve.
It's a smart serve right there. He saw Dinesh sneak in for the backhand return and he went out wide instead. Took off the pace. Very smart. Well done.
That was at the right height, wasn't it?
That was a good read by Dinesh. Good read. And look at where he's standing. So the net player is so important here. Look at where he's standing. He read it so fast and he's already crossing. Look at that. All the time in the world. Well done.
That's what we talk about on the Steve Young serve. That first serve percentage has dipped quite considerably for the Singaporean pair, and Sri Lanka's just beginning to pick things up on their end. Very similar to a couple of points ago. Steve Young's return is just too comfortable, isn't it?
And you can see what the strategy is. I mean, Harshana is standing back. He's got those booming ground strokes, and he's putting a lot of pressure on Steve. Look at this. So the moment Steve floats it up, Dinesh reads it and goes across. Good play.
That when Dinesh is receiving, that's where they can try to exploit.
This lob was way too short. Not gonna get away with that. I formation by Singapore, new one. Some of these returns by Harshana have been quite astounding. I mean, the depth that he gets on those makes life really easy for Dinesh.
Yeah, it's 3 returns so far from Steve have been all at a comfortable height, haven't they, at the net? And it's another break point. That's Singapore service beginning to be put under some strain here. He needed that. That's a much better shot from Steve Young.
And you can see the strategy from Sri Lanka. Look at this. Harshana hits the return, and look at where Dinesh is going. He's already crossing. That was a good read by Steve. Well done. with authority. I think that first volley by Shaheed was so important. I mean, Dinesh did well to get to the serve. That pulled him out really wide. But that first volley by Shaheed put all sorts of pressure on Dinesh. And we know he's not the fastest player on court. And the rest of it, as they say, is history.
So Singapore now with a commanding 5-1 lead. Singapore now with a commanding 5-1 lead. But we've been here before, haven't we?
I must say, that last serve by Steve had a lot of authority on it. I mean, it's a sign of a player who's confident in his ability.
Oh, he's missed a great chance there. He knows it. He knows it.
Interesting one, Shazad. You realize the Sri Lankans are serving and volleying now. I mean, that was a new tactic. He slowed down his serve. That's exactly what I would have told him. Slow down your serve. Try something different. I mean, your first serve's not working. Try something else. Really unlucky by Shaheed here.
But looking at where they both were, Shai knew any kind of contact that gets over the net, it's a point.
Exactly.
He'll take that though.
And I like how the Sri Lankans are changing. I like how Dinesh has slowed down that serve a little bit, giving the Singaporeans a bit more to think about on the first serve. Unfortunate that they couldn't get the volley. I mean, it was down the middle. That's a difficult shot, and both are playing the forehand. But at least they're trying to change it up.
Serving better now, isn't he, Dinesh? Important for him. As I was saying earlier, their first serve percentages are going up. Singapore's are going down. It's a marked improvement though.
It is way better. But that forehand volley has plagued him the entire day. When he played Shaheed, those same volley mistakes were happening, and you can tell he's not happy. You can tell that he knows something is wrong. It could be one of those days. I formation. Interesting to see what happens here. That's a magical touch by Dinesh. That was not an easy volley. Good play from both teams. This scramble by Shaheed here, this lob, very well done. But just look at this volley, look at that. He had to stretch. Oh, that was not easy at all. Well done, Sri Lanka. That was some return, huh?
Well, that's the first service game they've won.
So my question is this, Shazad. The same thing happened when they played Kuwait yesterday, and Dinesh started serving and volleying as well, from what I hear. Why didn't they do this from the start? I mean, why would you want to play a different strategy and then change it when you're 5-1 down?
Absolutely right. Only now. All a little too late.
I mean, a serve and volley can't be your backup strategy. That's the main strategy in doubles.
Yeah, it is a bit strange, I have to say. But a chance here for Shahid Alam to serve and see out this first set. So Shaheed was broken earlier in a bit of a marathon game. Let's see how he does here. Not quite. Good rally.
I must say though, Dinesh has really stepped up. He's starting to play a lot better now, a lot more confident at the net. And that was a really exciting. I mean, that point is great for all tennis fans. I think we all want to see good doubles like that. That was a good point by both teams. Good hands right there. Shaheed not just unlucky not to get away with that. Would have been point of the tournament. You know, Shazad, I was just making a point about doubles being a bit of a nullifying factor if you're a good singles player, and you can see it now. Harshana, when he plays singles, he's got these booming returns, but in doubles, he only has that small part of the court to aim at, and those returns aren't necessarily always going to pay off dividends.
Big shout from the crowd.
And fortune favors the brave. I mean, he took a chance and it paid off. This was not a bad return by Harshana. And he decided to go anyway. Look at that. Well done. Good play by Singapore.
We now find ourselves at set point. Brilliantly done by Steve Ng. And Singapore take the first set 6-2.
Really good volley. And I mean, this first set, it was all Singapore. Singapore has been in the driving seat the whole set. They've broken Harshana quite a few times. And I think they've kind of applied the right kind of pressure. I mean, the Sri Lankan players look really uncomfortable. And Steve has served a phenomenal set. And I think Shaheed stepped up just when he needed to. And I think the Singaporean team deserved this set. I think they've outplayed the Sri Lankans. And it'll be interesting to see how the team in yellow comes back in the second set.
Yeah, they've got to turn things around. I think the beginnings of a revival were there, particularly from a first serve perspective. You've got to get that right at least to start with.
Absolutely.
And now they're in the 60s in terms of percentages. They were in the low 40s earlier. So it has improved dramatically, Darren. And from their point of view, that's a start.
And I think now they just need to build and chain a few points together. I mean, Harshana was a little bit out of it. I think he played a much better singles match. And I think Dinesh is starting to step up. This could be a really interesting second set. I mean, if the Sri Lankans could play how they played in the second half of the set, this could be a really interesting second set.
Harshana broken a couple times in that last set. Let's see how he does here.
Now that is an effective serve. Right down the tee. And if you look at where you're looking at, you realize that the ball is curled away from Steve. That's a really, really good serve.
Hitting right through. No chance to free up the arms there.
And I think they know that Dinesh is the slightly weaker player of the pair. I mean, usually you return it cross court, but he went for that one. Smart shot though.
quick update. In the other doubles match between Kuwait and Vietnam, it's a set apiece there.
Much better opening game for Sri Lanka. I think Harshana is turning up on the serve now. And you can tell that they're starting to take the net away. They're starting to come in and starting to close off the angles. They're not giving it the Singaporeans the same time that they had in the first set. Much better tennis from the Sri Lankan pair.
Look a bit more positive here.
So I'm not sure if you can see that, but that volley by Shaheed spun back a little bit. There we go. And that was difficult because Harshana knows that he can't touch the net, or if not, it's the point of Singapore anyway. It's a bit of a fortunate one, I think. I think he could have done more of the volley. Dinesh won't be happy with that volley. He was right there, right over it. But you know, we've seen him miss a few in the singles as well. I mean, he's right there, and he's taking a little bit late. I think he knows it. He's upset at himself.
Going well. Steve Ung's serve.
He's not been troubled at all in his serve at all this match. He's been serving it out quite comfortably.
It's as you would expect at the moment. The two best servers have done well.
I think what's impressive is that he's carried his serve form over all 3 days actually. I mean, Steve has served very, very well since the first day of competition against Kuwait, yesterday against Vietnam, even his singles match earlier against Harshana, and now in the doubles, he's managed to carry that form over. Very impressive. Close call, this one. Dinesh doing very well. Oh, that was good. That's a good volley. Right on the line.
Yeah, right on the line.
All these little errors by Dinesh starting to really add up now. He's missing quite a few volleys. I mean, I formation. Interesting to see how they use this now. Good idea there by Shaheed. He saw the space right behind the Sri Lankan players, and you can tell that they're trying to come in and trying to squeeze out every little bit of space and put a lot of pressure on the Singapore players, but that also leaves the entire backcourt open, and that was a really smart option by Shaheed. Unfortunate to miss.
Nicely done, dispatched.
Good hands by both players. Easiest of putaways.
Important to get that. They've brought it to deuce.
I think a good thing to note is that Dinesh is really working on getting that first serve in now and coming in. This is really a good match of a good game of doubles now. I mean, everyone's trying to take the space away from each other. It's good play. Lucky break there. Volley came off the frame. It was good play though by Sri Lanka. Take nothing away from them. Well done.
So it is going with serve at the moment. I think he'll be delighted that they're serving much, much better now, the Sri Lankans. And it's a question of what if. You look back earlier on, well, the fact is they can only look forward now, and we're on to Shaheed Alam's serve coming up.
Yeah, I think his first serve percentage has really gone up. I mean, Dinesh served a really solid game there, and you can see what his serve is really capable of. I mean, it's capable of creating all that space for the Sri Lankan pair, and it's all to play for now. I mean, he had some really delightful points and some really good exchanges, and this makes for really good doubles. Well done, both teams.
We mentioned earlier about how good the crowd has been, and it's going to get better and better, of course, as we get towards Saturday. Friday afternoon, you're always going to attract a bit more of a crowd, and tomorrow is a sellout.
Absolutely, we're expecting a sellout crowd tomorrow, and it's good to see that Singaporeans are enjoying the tennis. I mean, it's really good to see all these stands filled up, and to have the crowd behind the players. It's always good to see.
Just in, nicely done.
It's a good shot by Dinesh. It's really stepped up now. Looks a lot more comfortable. I think Steve will be a little bit annoyed though that he was passed down the line. I mean, he could have covered the angle a little bit better. But take nothing away from Dinesh. That was a very well measured shot. So it looks like this is going on serve. Very high quality doubles match at the moment. Everyone holding their own, not giving any free points away.
And it follows that pattern. 2-all. Harshana to serve now.
And we need to remember that Steve is the first Singaporean to win a M25 ITF tournament doubles title. So he's very accomplished at the net as well. Good play. A little bit of confusion but from the Sri Lankan players there. Each thought they were going to get it. But Shaheed still had to keep his nerve to make the smash. There we go, the bit of confusion. That's a good smash. And that's the wide serve that will do a lot of damage when you're left-hander. I mean that serve goes really wide, and on doubles there's then a lot of pressure for you to play that shot. And that's a good serve by Harshana. Starting to turn it up now. We saw a lot of this during his singles.
Important now that they do, of course. Nicely done again from Dinesh.
And again, it all starts from that big booming serve from Harshana. Not much you can do on the return. Makes life really simple for your partner.
Well, something's got to give at some point. You hold your serve, you immediately put pressure back on the other side. So it's with Singapore now.
It's all the markings of a good doubles match. Everyone's holding their serve. Everyone looks confident right now. I mean, even Dinesh is starting to step up. Harshana starting to really turn up the heat on his serve. And the Singapore pair, I mean, against that serve, there's really not much they can do. But they're holding their own as well. And I think this now will be a really good match of doubles. Everyone looks like they're in it. And we've seen some really fabulous exchanges between the players at the net, from the back. It makes for good watching. And if you're watching, this is how doubles really should be played. Still with authority, Steve on his serve. That's a great serve.
That's good stuff from Steve Ng.
Just took the pace off a little, went for the slider out wide. It's a smart serve right there. 3 game points, sorry. And I think that's the fastest service game we've had.
We have. Brilliant. And I'm just wondering, where is this break going to come from? Are we going to go the distance in this set?
And how important that break's going to be.
Absolutely. As we near the magical 6. Someone breaks now. Very little margin for error.
Can you feel the tension in the air now?
Absolutely. The crowd, I wonder if they can play their part. You would think, just from record, this is the man that you put the pressure on now.
That was a brave second serve though. I must give it to him. That was a really brave second serve.
Really well done by Dinesh.
That was a really good first volley. I mean, bamboozled everyone. This is really good hands there. Look at that. Look at that's really nice control. And Steve did really well to get there. But it was always going to be in Sri Lanka's. That was always going to be Sri Lanka's point.
Lovely return. Lovely return from Shaheed.
Again, that return causes all volleys, all sorts of problems, right at your feet with pace. He saw Dinesh had to go really low to dig it out. But still, 2 game points. And the return of the double fault.
What a time. Just putting a bit of pressure on him now. So they've passed that test.
And you can just feel the tension rising in the arena, Shazad. Both teams have been serving really well, putting the pressure on each other every time the other team has to go up to the line to serve.
No one is letting up here. That's good to see.
The quality has gone up considerably. I mean, this is really good doubles. I can't say that enough. And I think both teams deserve a lot of credit. Well, if you can't see what happened on the camera, why they stopped playing was because the ball had hit one of the fixed structures in the ceiling, so that's immediately Singapore's point. Oh, a bit of a lucky return, and that's why he's apologizing. Came off his frame. 15-all, crucial point this one.
Oh, is this a little shift here? These are pivotal moments.
That was a good return. That return set it all up, and to take that on a drive volley under the circumstances, very brave, very well done, Sri Lanka.
Now, I think he really needs to get this in, Shaheed Alam. Unforced from Harshana. He's annoyed with himself. He knows it.
He must be so disappointed. There was no need to go for that. I mean, the ball was well in play, and he could have crafted the point a little better. I think he has every right to be annoyed at himself.
Lovely return, soft return. Beautifully done.
What a time to hit that return.
And a break point.
Look at
First
this.
one we've had of this second set rather.
That was a really good return by Dinesh.
No pressure here on Shaheed Alam.
What a backhand down the line shot. Look at this. Threaded the needle right there. Brilliant. Right on the line. Good play, Singapore.
Important, these points. Very important.
Battle of will now. Good hole. Well
Needed that.
done, Singapore.
Absolutely needed that. Crucial.
And you can see what Steve is telling Shaheed. This is the one they need to take now. This is the break that they need. The momentum was firmly the Sri Lankans right there with a break point. And just like that, at 4-all, all the pressure now on Harshana to hold serve.
Right at him.
Good firm return by Steve.
I know no hands up this time.
Well, I mean, in doubles of this quality, you would expect that people will hit through you. I mean, it's very different from what we play.
Couple of points on the roll here.
And you know, that's why I say fortune favors the brave. Steve took a chance, he went in. It's well executed volley. Very good, very sharp.
Oh, the pressure right on Harshana here. Oh, it was actually a really good serve from Harshana. But the volley not put away.
Dinesh was caught a little bit napping. I mean, I don't think he expected the return to come back.
Return, yeah.
Honestly, I didn't expect the return to come back. It was a really good serve.
Really good serve. And now, 3 break points. Singapore in a very good position here. Can they convert at least one of them? There you go. Clutch time, and he delivered. But he's got 2 more.
15-40.
I can't make it.
Good tight play by the Sri Lankans. Really good tight play.
They've got 1 more break point to survive here. Just listen to the crowd if Singapore convert it. There's a
Second
chance
serve.
here with the second serve, maybe. Only 50% of Sri Lankan points won on second serve. They do it! Singapore get the break. It's the biggest roar we've heard all day.
And
They've appreciated it.
And I think the pressure told. I mean, on that last point, Harshana, I thought he would have gone for the slider out wide. That would have been a much smarter serve than to go down the middle with pace. And to set up for his opponent, it almost felt like he wanted to go for an outright service winner. That's a good return. Smart play by Steve, and I think Dinesh rightfully annoyed at himself, tossing his racket.
It's unfortunately it's been a very inconsistent day for him, hasn't it?
Very patches of what he's really capable of, and I think that last game he kind of came off the pedal a little bit. But take nothing away from the Singapore boys. I think they dug deep. Shaheed was facing break point, looked a little bit nervy, managed to dig deep, and now they've broken. And well, if Singapore hold on here, this group is wide open.
And it's coming down to Steve to serve. By the way, we can tell you that Vietnam have beaten Kuwait 2-1 in the final rubber, the doubles rubber, which means they win in straight matches. And that means if Singapore win this, quick maths, I think they do finish second in their group.
I need to do my math, but it could be a chance.
First, let's get this game underway. Right in the gap. Big smiles.
Can you hear the crowd? They're roaring at every point that Singapore puts away. And again, this serve, really, really good serve, opens up the court. Should have done more of the volley there, I feel. And this one, that was Singapore's point all the way.
Almost there. They're almost there. 2 points away.
And you know that serve, that high kicker to Harshana's backhand, that's the difficult one for the single-hander backhand. We all struggle with that. And that was a smart move by Steve.
Important there for Dinesh to get that 30 all.
And he's still in it, you can tell. There's a lot of fight left in the Sri Lankan pair. Very firm volley. He needed that.
Oh, vital, crucial right there. He's been getting those mainly correct today, mainly right. And all of a sudden it's turned around into break point.
By inches, that one.
Wow, that's a remarkable turnaround. Now, it's pressure's on Steve here.
Facing the first break point on his serve.
Important, really important for Sri Lanka. And they've broken right back. This is good stuff here at the centre court.
Really good play by the Sri Lankan pair. And I think Harshana really outplayed himself right there. And Dinesh with the all-important volley. I mean, I think he needed that, and things might be very different from here.
Well, well. Drama doesn't stop, does it?
He's still not getting those first serves in.
Dinesh's turn to miss a good volley in a good position.
And you said it just now, Shazad, it's been that kind of day off for him. He's really in patches. I mean, he played a brilliant game just now. And the easiest of volleys he couldn't put away.
That's something we saw a lot of on day one from Shaheed.
It's very nervy right now. I mean, if you're here, you can feel the tension in the air. This is really good match of doubles. It's right there for the taking. Miss hit. Swung it a little bit too fast.
They've got some momentum here, the Sri Lankans.
Starting to serve really well now, Dinesh. Good for him. I think he needs this. He's really not been serving well the whole day, but the last two first serves have proven that they've created opportunities for the team in yellow. I think it's important for the Singaporean boys to keep their heads up. They look a little bit subdued now. Just need to play it out, get it out of your head. I mean, just keep moving forward.
Oh, Justin! I think he looks a bit amazed by that as well. He'll take that.
Right, smile, and I don't think he expected her to go in, but it snuck right in. That was a good return.
Important for that serve, very important. Six, 5.
I think Sri Lanka has done really well this set to come back. I mean, Steve was 30 love up on his serve and they dug really deep.
Yep, absolutely right. You go back to that.
And I think Dinesh, I mean, I know we mentioned him a lot because during the singles match, he was a little bit disappointing. His first serve percentage was way below average. He started off this doubles match a little bit underwhelmed as well. And I think he's really come through the ranks. I mean, he started to play some really solid tennis. That whole last game was all him. His first serve percentage was high. And he's been hitting some really solid shots. And I think that's been the difference so far. I mean, now he's really in it together with Harshana. And that's why they're leading 6-5. I mean, it's really good play by the Sri Lankans.
So now it's on Shaheed Alam to deliver. Otherwise, we could go to a third set. There is going to be a three-way tie. If Singapore win this, by the way, there will be a three-way tie for second place. Sometimes it goes your way.
I just felt that Harshana could have come in a little bit earlier and didn't need to play that second shot off the baseline.
It's a nice return.
Very, very solid return there.
Important volley there from Steve Ung.
And I'm not sure why Harshana decided to hit that. I mean, under no kind of pressure. Just play the point. I mean, when you go down the line and you don't make the shot, this is what happens. You set your partner up, and this is what happens.
So Singapore bring it to a tie-break here in the second set.
I think they needed that. I think they needed that easier hold. And wow, this match has been one of the best we've seen the entire tournament.
Absolutely, they've left the best till last year on day 3. Hard to call this tiebreak.
It's hard to call. I mean, everyone's playing good. Everyone's playing out of their minds actually, and this is going to be a hard one to call. Good solid first serve. One love, Sri Lanka.
Oh, that was there for the taking.
Rushed it a little bit. Great serve by Steve. But the Sri Lankans have that mini break. And in a tie break, that mini break means a lot.
That was a chance not taken. That's given maybe Singapore an opening here. That kind of evens things out, doesn't it?
That was the absolutely worst time to miss an overhit by Dinesh. I was just gonna say that this first volley was really good. Oh, just a rush of blood. Swung at it a little bit too early. Should have done better.
Another tight call. By naked eye, that looked possibly in.
No, Darren's Hawkeye. That was out.
I don't know about that, but okay. Singapore now with the advantage here. Oh, has he missed that? Has he got it? That's in. Again, tight, very tight.
And I think I heard a shout from the Sri Lankan player saying that was out. Oh, it's very tight, that one.
What does DH say?
It's in.
One more time, I think, will be.
Let's use Darren's Hawkeye for real this time. Right there, it's in, right on the line. Clip the line.
I'm not sure. Again, I will defer to the expert, who's not showing any allegiances whatsoever.
My Hawkeye's been impeccable.
Singapore 4-2 up with a serve here.
Bit of anticlimax, that shot.
Razor thin. Very fine margins here.
And of course now it's on Harshana's serve. Two good serves will put them in a really good position to clinch the set. I formation again. It will be interesting to see if he goes for the wide serve. Let's slide out wide. Oh. It's good serve by Harshana.
And again, it's so important, those volleys at the net.
Those two shots, the smash that Dinesh missed and that volley, might come back to haunt them if they don't clinch this set. And if Singapore going to win, I mean, he was right on top of it. He just needed to put it back on the court. Back to Steve's serve now. He's been serving well the whole day, with the exception of that one break that he had.
Oh, they're almost there. Match point. A couple of them. Can they see this out now?
It's a great serve. Puts so much pressure on the opponent. Well done, Steve.
No, everyone got a little excited.
No, that was definitely long.
Listen, just wait for that crowd reaction. What is that? In or out? That's gone the way of Sri Lanka.
That was really, really close. Oh, that was looked a little bit wide. I mean, if you look at a replay.
Quick one. We'll have another quick one because Darren's not satisfied.
Little bit wide. Look at that.
Oh, I think he might have a point actually.
Darren's hawker is impeccable.
They've drawn level. Wow. Credit to the Sri Lankans.
And
They've held their nerve a couple times in this match.
And we saw the same thing earlier in the set when they were down and suddenly they pulled out. Surge forward mentally. I think it's really good play by the Sri Lankans.
So now we have to win by 2 clear points in this tie break.
The Singaporean boys got to get this out of their head. And I think the Sri Lankans have done really well. I mean, they've had to combat a partisan crowd. The crowd's been really fair, but listen to the crowd when Singapore wins a point. This is, after all, their home ground. And I think the Sri Lankans have held their own. I think they've managed to isolate themselves from all the noise and all the possible pressure points. And I think they're playing really good tennis right now.
Dinesh to serve though. Oh dear. Not done well by Steve.
It's a really good volley by Dinesh.
And it's a set point here.
I like how he cushions the ball and takes the pace of it. Didn't give Steve much to hit at. Look at that. Not much to hit, not much to aim for. Well done, Dinesh.
Now the pressure right on Singapore. Important, very important. Listen to that.
It's brave play by Singapore. I mean, look at that backhand down the line. I mean, he went for it. You wouldn't think it was a set point. I think Singapore earned that point. I mean, it was brave play by Shaheed. Well deserved.
Well, he just didn't seem to sight that.
Really good return.
And we're back on set point again.
This is a really good return by Dinesh. Serve by Harshana. He went for it.
Brilliant. Brilliant from Shahid Alam. He was doing that for fun yesterday, and he's delivered again here.
What a time to pull that out of his pocket. Again, look at how he squares up for this backhand. Look at the technique. Brilliant.
It's great doubles tennis, isn't it?
It's really fun to watch.
Absolutely fantastic here. Centre court of the OCBC Arena, Singapore Sports Hub. Nothing between these two in the second set. Wow, that was there for the taking. Was that the right option for Steve?
I thought that he was put under a lot of pressure by Harshana's volley. Just look at this again. That was a really good volley. That shot down the middle was a little bit too high. But credit to Harshana, I think he read it and he knew he was already moving in. Good play, Sri Lanka.
So, set point again. I think this is the third set point we've had, and this is following a pattern now. So we will now go to a third set. And you've got to give a lot of credit to the Sri Lankans.
To be honest, I don't think that was the best shot selection by Steve. Nothing would have come from that. I mean, if you look at how the Sri Lankans have positioned themselves, Harshana is right there. That lob, Harshana would have gotten anyway. I think a little bit of nerves creeping up on the Singapore team. But take nothing away from the Sri Lankan players. I mean, they really stepped up the past few games. And facing match point, they played a point out of their minds. I think they deserve a lot of credit. And went to rubber set.
This is also very important of course, because they've got that set back. And remember, sets may well count in the countback later on. If they are all tied on points, it then goes back to sets and games and all that. So this is very important for Sri Lanka.
Absolutely, and I can't help but think that Singapore actually might have a little bit of advantage. I mean, they haven't lost 3-0 in any of their ties, whereas the Kuwaitis and Sri Lanka have lost 3-0 to Vietnam. So this is going all the way, and if Singapore manage to win this match, it would really affect the standings on the table. So this is going to be really interesting to watch. How much of a toll is taken on the Singaporean pair. The Sri Lankan pair is obviously going to start this on a confidence high. And again, the team captains would have told their chargers to put everything out of their mind and play this as though it's the first set all over again. First double fault by Steve. Not a good way to start the third set. Needs to get it out of his system. You know, again, I don't understand that shot selection by Harshana. I mean, you're reaching out behind you and you're going for the outright winner. Why not just play it back? Both Singaporean players had already retreated anyway. They're going to replay the point. Steve's first serve. 30-15. Making sure of that one. And I think while Singapore might have started a little shakily with the double fault, I think that's all coming together now. 40-15 to the Singapore pair. Really good smash there by Steve, and this one with aplomb.
Nicely done by Dinesh, because he's been struggling with the volleys at the net recently.
It's a good return. And the depth by Harshana again, causing all sorts of problems. Good play by Shaheed. He needed that one. Missed a few. I think that will do his confidence a lot of good. Back on serve.
Taken lots of twists and turns, hasn't it, this match? But we will have resolution in this set. And it will also go to tiebreak if required. That's the format.
This is a really good match of doubles, Shazad. I mean, both teams took their time to settle in. Second set showed some really good quality stuff. And this third set, if they both can keep it up, we might be heading for the same result. Overcooked that one. Yeah, Harshana seems to have come off the boil a little bit. Couple of loose shots. Serve percentage has dropped a little bit. I formation again. And based on how he's been serving, this is going right down the middle.
That is an excellent point. All from Steve Ng there. How he dug that out, I do not know. And then Shahid Alam finishing superbly.
And this is what happens when you don't give up. That's a great get by Steve. The defensive smash coming in, and Shaheed, what a shot again. The whole day he's been hitting that. Meat and drink for him.
Unlucky, but you know they're kind of riding a little crest here from that earlier point.
Shaheed, unfortunate not to get a result from that. Really fast hands, really good. Let's look at that. So close, almost got it.
And what this means, of course, there are a couple of break points here early on for Singapore.
That was a good wide serve, and if you look at the replay, Shaheed read that quite fast. I mean, he was right there and he expected it. I think that return kind of surprised Harshana.
They've done it. They've got the all-important break right at the start.
And that's what I was talking about. Harshana seems to come off the ball just a little bit. A loose volley to start the game. And that last one looked very tentative. Two love, Singapore with the break. Took that little bit late, Shaheed. Steve did well to get the first volley. Take nothing away from Harshana. That was a good shot. This forehand right here, zipping through the court again.
Lovely passing shot. Very nicely done by Dinesh. And could they start now to put the pressure back on Singapore?
Brave shot. Very well measured. Good shot by Dinesh.
Intervention from Steve Ng at the net.
Took a risk and it paid off. Really smart moving by Steve. I think he's realized that Harshana is not hitting those down the line shots anymore. Look at how fast he moves across. And this one lacked a little bit of direction. Good play, Singapore. I must say I'm impressed, Shazad. The Singapore team has come out a lot stronger in this third set. Started a little bit shaky, but mentally looks like they still have the edge.
And on the verge of taking a 3-love lead. interesting. They're going to have a chat right after that.
It's probably going to change the serve direction because it's pretty obvious where they were going initially.
Or are they?
Right to the body.
Yep. Perfect.
And that's a really smart volley by Steve. I mean, look at where Harshana is standing after he receives the serve. Look at where he's standing. He's rooted right behind the baseline. It's really smart volley. Good play, Singapore.
So, Singapore 3-love up. Pressure here. Real pressure now. And it's Dinesh to serve as well. Lose this and they are in serious trouble. Lose this game coming up. It's going to be very, very hard for them.
This game is so important for the Sri Lankans right now. They can't afford to be broken. At love 4, it might be an insurmountable task.
They're now having a little chat here as well, the Sri Lankans. Will they change it up? They did. It's gone long. Well, Singapore's ability to dig themselves out of difficult situations in this set has really helped them.
Shaheed has played out of his mind this set. I mean, look at that shot. It looks like he really wants it, doesn't he?
Again, I think the crowd, he plays off the crowd so well. Don't want to jinx it too much. These are very important points for Sri Lanka.
It's a good serve by Dinesh, right on the line. Few unforced errors coming from Steve. He's going to be annoyed at himself. That should have made that one.
I got to say, he's serving so much better now than he was this morning. There's a huge improvement. And it's yielding results.
Spot on, Shahzad. I think that last game showed you how important his serve is to his game. All these serves coming off the line adds a little bit of zip, makes it really difficult for Singapore. 3-1 to Singapore now. On serve with a break. bread and butter for the volleyer. Wouldn't expect anything less. Good first serve, 1-2 combination. Well done.
Lucky there. Shaheed. Couple of unforced errors from Singapore.
I think Steve just looks a little bit tight right now. That last backhand, you can tell his shoulders didn't open up. Looking at the replay, little bit tight on this one.
I think for the first time in this match, Singapore's first serve in percentage has gone below Sri Lanka's. But that doesn't matter here.
It's always good to see a nice smile on the player's face. He needed that first serve. That was a good one. Interesting to see what Harshana is going to do on the second serve here.
Deep one there. And they have that 4-1 lead. Big smiles. They're happy.
I wasn't expecting this return from Harshana. I mean, that down the line shot.
Especially with his backhand, right?
Yeah, that down the line shot is a dangerous bit when you're playing doubles if you don't get it right. And that wasn't even close to being a passing shot. It was right at the volleyer. Not the best shot selection, but like I said, I think he's come off the ball a little bit. I mean, he's had a bit of a tentative 2 games, I think, on his serve, and the last one. You know, I think all the players are starting to feel a little bit of tension right now. You can tell all the players are starting to feel, with the exception of maybe Shaheed. Shaheed seems to be loving this situation. I mean, he's played out of his mind this last set, but you can feel the tension starting to creep in a little. Makes for good tennis. Really nice to see a full crowd. If you're watching the stream now on Hub Tennis, brought to you by the Singapore Tennis Association and Sport Singapore. Everything and anything that's Singapore tennis can be found on hub.tennis. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, really good to have a good crowd here. People watching as well, all over the world. A warm welcome to you. We are watching some very, very good, entertaining doubles tennis here.
That was what I was saying, Shazad. It just looks like he's come off the ball just a little bit. That second serve had nothing on it. Very different from his singles match. Could be a bit of fatigue setting in.
Yeah, first double fault of the match for him, for them, in fact.
Miscommunication by the Singapore team. But Sri Lanka really need to hold this. I cannot see them coming back from 5-1 down against the Singaporeans who are playing this level of tennis. Great serve.
That is a great serve, isn't it?
That left-handed slider out wide, it's very potent serve. And I just wish he used it a little bit more during this entire match.
I was just going to say, in fact, we haven't even seen that much from him throughout.
No, not at all. I mean, he keeps going for the one down the middle, and that slider is a really effective serve to have on doubles.
Exactly what he's tried to do too much of. That's very nicely done there by Steve Ong. Great return.
It's a good return. Steps in nice, early, forces the weak volley. And he's going to make that all day. Slider maybe?
You know, that was very crucial. Very crucial for the Sri Lankans to hold serve there, which they did. So that's a credit to them. And important now, Singapore, to serve out. Shaheed Alam. It was around this point in the last set where he got broken. So I wonder if that's anywhere in his thoughts. He's just got to be focused on this. Good volley. Good volley.
Really nice hands. I don't think we've seen enough of that today from Harshana. But this is a lovely volley. This is great hands. He's going to be annoyed himself, Oceania, for not making that. But look at Steve's movement. Already crossed. It's almost like he can read his mind.
Again, you've used that phrase a lot of times with Harshana. Lovely hands.
That is not an easy volley, Shazad. That volley is not easy at all. And to catch Shaheed when he's already coming in. Look at that. Good touch.
This next point, vital. Oh, that was a good point, a very good point for the Sri Lankans. And we talked about this. They have the opportunity to break back here.
I mean, full credit to Steve. What reactions there. But the Sri Lankans holding steady at the net, forcing the error. Well played, Sri Lanka.
Oh, that is a terrible time to double fault. He's been really good otherwise on his serve. And that means Sri Lanka seen a way back in here.
Back on serve now. But Sri Lanka still needs to hold to consolidate the break. Good comeback from 4-1.
think it's Harshana to serve, isn't it, next? And oh no, sorry, excuse me. It's Dinesh to serve next, and he's actually been improved on the up and up with his serve.
Exactly. And for the neutral tennis fan, this is a great match of doubles. I mean, you learn so much by watching these matches. You look at the deft touch of Harshana on the past 2 volleys. The returns from some of these players have been brilliant. I mean, they've been treading the needle going down the line. They've been setting up for their partners. It's a lovely match of doubles. And for all of us tennis fans watching this, quite a few things we can learn from today.
Do you know what? This is just that momentum shift, isn't it? These things were going in Singapore's favour earlier. It's now gone the other way.
And Shaheed really should have made this shot. It's there for the taking. A little bit too high.
There's another one. They should have put away.
Just a little bit of nerves creeping in right now for the Singapore side. And credit to Sri Lanka, I think they've held on really well. I mean, they've dug deep and they've not given up. And that's how fast things change in tennis. Didn't adjust his feet, Oceania.
Good time for an ace. That is what has been lacking from Dinesh earlier today, but he's really come to the fore as it's progressed this match.
That's a really good serve by Dinesh. What a time to produce it on such a crucial point.
Excellent serve again.
Well, they did what they needed to do. They needed to hold, to consolidate the break, and now we are back on serve. It's 4-all. And Steve's serve. Served pretty well today. Broken once. Had a bit of a nervy first game with a double fault. Let's see what happens here. Going for the slider there. Not a bad choice.
Going to be replayed.
And it's good to see that everyone's just getting on with it. I think it shows that everyone's really into the match and they're not going to let these things distract them. It's good for tennis. Great serve by Steve. You know, Shahzad, when I used to play doubles, my coach used to tell me, if you don't know where to go, serve straight at the guy and you jam him. Sometimes that's just the easiest option to go. And the ball goes a bit nervous now.
going well so far in this game for Singapore.
Yeah, I can't help but notice a little bit of a mental switch. I mean, both teams seem to be wavering back and forth and giving up the momentum. Sri Lanka had a good run, and this game it seemed a little bit placid. Take nothing away from Steve. I think he's been serving good. But you just have that feeling.
Perfect height to put away for Shaheed.
And Harshana crossed a little bit too soon there. You can see from the replay. Too soon. And Steve saw that. Opened up the court with a down the line forehand. Well done, Singapore.
Exploited that gap brilliantly. And they have wrapped that game up very quickly. Maybe good to just have that momentum. It was emphatic, wasn't it?
And I think it's important because they stopped the rod. They lost 3 games in a row, 3-love up, 4-1 up. Lost 3 games in a row. Surrendered a commanding lead. I think they needed that. And to win it the way they did on 40-love. That was really important for the Singapore team.
So it's back on Harshana. Remember, we have one final day of tennis tomorrow. Looking forward to that. And it will be the rankings, really.
And in the other group, Qatar have defeated Iran 2-1 and Syria have defeated Malaysia 2-1.
So in Pool B, it ends up with Syria. Fantastic, given all their circumstances. They ended up first, Qatar second, Malaysia third, Iran fourth.
And bear in mind, Syria only have brought 3 players down to Singapore this time round. All the pressure on Harshana's serve now. Oh, a little edgy, isn't it?
Exchanging those volleys.
It's really good to watch this match. It's almost like a coaching volley game, that one with Dinesh. Great slider serve. That's good use of the serve now.
Right in between them. Perfect.
Good return by Steve. Really stepped in, read that serve the moment it came off Harshana's racket. Look at that. Brilliant. Immaculate technique. Starting to use that sliding serve a little bit more now. Again, that forehand by Harshana putting so much pressure on Steve. So close to the baseline.
Yeah, they always look quite comfortable there, didn't they? And now we're going to have to win by 2 clear games. So obviously go to tie break.
And this was the one where it changed the complexion of this set. At 4-1 up, Shaheed was broken. Read that really well, Harshana. And this hitting by Dinesh set it all up for his partner. Well done, Sri Lanka.
Well, they have that bit of momentum, and the Sri Lankan crowd as well in the audience. They're beginning to make their presence felt.
What a time to pull that winner out. That was good hitting by Shaheed. Look at that. Really smart play by Sri Lanka.
And the Singapore crowd respond as well. Great stuff. Was that in? It was. 3 points in a row. On the verge of a break here.
I mean, credit to Sri Lanka. I think they played a really good game, this one. Set themselves up well, and Harshana had the easiest of putaways. What a shot by Harshana. What a time to pull it out of the bag.
Look at that. And now they will feel they're in the driving seat.
That is a real world-class shot by Harshana. That was not an easy shot at all. Look at how fast his wrist moves to change the direction of the shot. It's not easy. Really nice. I guess the advantage that Singapore has is that this is on Dinesh's serve, but he's been serving really well. I mean, his percentages have gone up.
Pressure. Real pressure now in Singapore. Stephen to serve. Sorry, excuse me. It's going to be the Sri Lankan serving now. They've got that break, excuse me, and wow.
We're all a bit nervous as well.
They've got to draw on deep here and pull something out of the bag. Remember, they had a couple of match points.
They had
Earlier
3
on.
love and they were 4-1 up. No time for that now. They got to get it out of their system and just go for it.
Listen to that. Singapore, Sri Lanka out shouting each other or trying to. Great stuff. This is what Davis Cup tennis is all about. All that momentum right now is with them.
That smash was not an easy smash. All the pressure. Good get from Shaheed. This one, if he had missed that, this game would have taken a very different complexion.
They're struggling, aren't they?
Looking a bit subdued now, the Singaporeans. They need to play it out, their system. It's not over yet. But Sri Lanka, what about them? I mean, they've come from behind, 4-1 down. It's really good performance.
Oh, he just seemed to lose his footing. And now, 3 match points for Sri Lanka. What a turnaround this has been. That's a really poor serve.
Exuberant first serve, that's what I'll call it.
He's double faulted at the worst time.
A bit on nerves, maybe.
Yep. Just a little glimmer here for Singapore.
Two more opportunities for Dinesh and Harshana to seal this. Interesting to see what he'll go for here.
Well done there, Shaheed. Staying in it, Singapore.
This return off the frame, causing all sorts of problems. Dinesh could have done a little bit better with that, but it's a good shot by Shaheed. He's going to make that all day.
He's got it in! Brilliant from Shaheed. Excellent work. The crowd get right behind them. And both sides here have had chances to win this match. And none have been taken.
Nobody wants to leave the court. 40 love up. Dinesh is going to be really disappointed he didn't do better with those volleys. Could have done so much more with those. But Shaheed, this shot, don't take anything away from him. That's under the pressure. That's a difficult one. Really well done, both teams.
You cannot take your eyes off this match. Another good rally. That gives Sri Lanka yet another match point.
And full credit to Dinesh. That was a smash under so much pressure. And he pulled it off. I mean, he's been missing those all day, but this game alone, he's played a phenomenal game. 2 smashes under pressure. Well done, Sri Lanka.
In! He's got it in! Again, I'm not so sure he knew about that. He doesn't care. Everyone has held their breath there, didn't they? 4 match points saved.
Had to close my eyes for a moment. Pressure now.
It's good serve.
Wow,
A
I
very
must
good
say,
serve.
Dinesh has really served himself out of this. I mean, who would expect the guy who's at less than 50% first serves today?
Yeah. Delivering when it matters.
Delivering when it matters, exactly. It's really good serving by Dinesh right now.
5th match point of this match, of this game, excuse me. Tight one, tight one.
What must Harshana be thinking when he missed that volley?
Thank God.
Lost this little shock absorber on his racket. Happens sometimes.
What a return! What a return from Shaheed!
Brilliant. I mean, to hit that volley under all kind of pressure. Excellent showing by Shaheed right now. What a return. Great shot. You can hear the crowd really getting behind the Singapore players.
Now it's up to Steve here. No one on it! And for the first time here in this game, they are in with a shout of a break. There's Roy Hobbs, Jensen as well.
I think it all starts from this first return from Steve. That was a good serve by Dinesh, but Steve got it back. And that lob from Shaheed. What about that?
They both kind of looked at each other, didn't they, the Sri Lankans?
That was a really good lob.
Whoa, brilliant serve. Excellent serve from Dinesh. He has delivered really so much more now.
That is a really crucial serve on match point.
So much riding on this. Important again.
Wow, Dinesh has served really well this game.
Where was this earlier today?
That was almost non-existent today. Look at this serve. Good play by Harshana.
He wanted to take on that responsibility. And now it's the 6th match point of this game alone. Singapore live to see another day.
I can tell you, Shazan, nobody wants to win this match.
They're having so much fun they want to stay on court.
Maybe the court's just so nice to play on. Everyone just wants to stay there.
That was right on the line, wasn't it?
It's a good, smart shot. Caught Harshana as he was crossing. Second serve. Pressure point, this one.
Pressure, absolutely. Oh, so unlucky. Desperately unlucky. Seventh match point. Those
So
are the fine
unlucky.
margins, aren't they?
It really is. I mean, that ball could have rolled over just as easy as it had gone back.
Oh,
That's a little bit wild right
wow, that's a wild one. Again, is that nerves? Remember, he's already had double faults. Not this time. Oh, Shaheed pulls it out of the bag again.
there. And you know, if Singapore go on to win this game,
This is the one.
it's all Shaheed Alam. I mean, every return, he's caused damage to the Sri Lankan pair.
Now it's on Steve. Serve is just beginning to show some signs here of faltering. Did he get it in or not? Was it long? Oh, he could have done.
Oh, I think he knew he gifted them that one.
Did he need to take that as an overhead?
And that's why I said that Dinesh has played two really good overhits this match. I mean, similar situation, under so much pressure.
Was that the right shot selection?
You'll
Easy to
never
say now,
know.
of course.
Dinesh match point.
Number 8. Well, they finally wrap up this match. And Sri Lanka were on the brink. They've come back here superbly to win it. It's real emotion. Look at that. Look at what it means to them. This is an ATP ranked player. And they were pushed all the way by Singapore. Plucky Singapore, who are ranked well below Sri Lanka. Singapore took the lead in the first singles, lost the second one. It came down to this doubles match. And we've been served a classic doubles match here, Darren.
It's a really good match by both. I think both teams can walk with their head held high. Look at the emotion coming through on the Sri Lanka team. I think they fought really hard and they knew the escape. They knew the escape from this one. I mean, they were 3-love down in the third set, 4-1 down. Even in the second set, they were down. But credit to them, they converted their chances. They dug deep. They hung in there. And I think it's been a really good performance by Sri Lanka. Take nothing away from Singapore. I mean, I think they played really well as well. But, you know, in tennis, it's just a game of fine margins. And this has been a really good doubles match. This is something that every tennis player should watch and learn so many lessons from.
A lot of emotional scenes here as far as the Sri Lankans are concerned. They're going over to the fans who are congratulating them on what's been a seesaw match. The momentum swung everywhere. This, no matter where you're watching, whether in the arena or online or wherever you are around the world, this has been a superb game of tennis that we have enjoyed every minute of and sums up what Davis Cup tennis is all about.
Absolutely brilliant, this match. And look at all the emotions coming out now.
So close for Singapore to pull that out. Remember, they looked well in control at the end of that first set. It was very unlucky in the second. They had match points. They couldn't convert. You feel for Shaheed Alam and Steve Ng.
Absolutely. I think they played a really good match. I think they played way out of the league this time around. And to push the Sri Lankans the way they did, brilliant performance by both teams. Really good doubles match. One for the history books.
Yeah, they know how close they came. They could have finished second in the group, could have. In the end, they will now finish bottom. They've got playoffs tomorrow, but look at this. It was the serve. Ironically enough, it was the serve of Dineshkanthan THANGARAJAH that got them that win in the end.
It's all in that last game. I mean, he missed so many serves today. He was serving 49%. That last game alone, I think he served more first serves than he did the entire day.
Yeah, that's the irony of it all. Well, we're going to catch our breath and leave you to savor what's been superb tennis all day. From Misha Zadhak and Darren Ho, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you very much.
And we look forward to seeing all of you again on Saturday morning.
See you tomorrow.